Greetings, greetings, greetings. How are you? What is happening? What is going on? How is your Saturday? I hope it's going well. I end up, I don't know. I tried. I had my idea of what I was going to do. It wasn't in stone, so you can always change and rearrange. But I was going to run out to another store today, and that didn't happen. I was going to try it, just it didn't happen as time went on. That dozen of eggs just didn't seem that important, considering I had half a dozen left. So I said, well, we're going to wait. So that's on tomorrow's agenda. But I end up not leaving the house because actually I was tired. Mental gymnastics is still work. And that's how my week was. It was just a lot of mental gymnastics going on. Things were not connecting, they didn't work. It just made it difficult. And I don't like a lot of chaos, and especially when I know things should go better and you have time to prepare. And if you don't prepare, that tells me you don't really care and you're not that serious, and that's what kind of irritates me. But two things did happen um, today, and I don't know what's going on, but two things simultaneously happened. The price of spinach and a free online converter. I don't know what happened. Last night the converter was working. The next day, which is today, they changed it. Now they're adding, I can call it malware. It's actually malware. They've added malware to it. And I'm like, I'm not using this thing. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I did a search. And when I did the search, well, I went through a couple of pages and almost everything is the same. It's like, hey, you pay. You pay now. And I don't really mind doing that. I was really just trying to find free because I've been used to free for the past 2 years. And I think I just can't have free anymore. So, what I will do, um, I do get a little leftover. We're able to cover the internet cost, even though it went up $5 in July, but we're able to cover that. And for the StreamYard, so I have a little bit left over. So that's gonna, I put everything in the channel anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I think I can find something maybe. Let me see. I had one offer for $19, but I didn't get a chance to research that long today, as far as with pricing and ease of use and all of that. So I will dig into that. And the price of spinach. I had my cart ready and everything. And I went to view my cart today, and I looked. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't. And I scanned through each item. I'm like, okay, okay. Spinach, 3.29. Wait a minute, that bag of spinach was 2.29. What the world? Oh yeah, it has increased. It did that to me. I'm like, wow. So overnight increases. And also, I want to state that yesterday was really a great show, good conversation, but I do, try to keep it at a minimum because watch time is important when it comes down to people reviewing. People do not have that much tolerance, so I try to keep it under 3 hours for sure. If we go over 15, 30 minutes, I try to even keep it under that 30 minutes because that's the 3 hour mark. But people actually have reviewed the video. So I'm like, cool, I'm happy. And we're going to do a part two because we had some people that didn't get a chance to speak. I know, what's his name? Charles Faulkner. He came through. One of the gentlemen, he came through and he spoke a little bit. Um, and we have so many different personalities. We have some people that speaks longer than others. We have some people that are sensitive. So I like to be able to cater to everyone. And because the conversation, and I'm playing a video too because I want to stay fairly on the topic. And so it was interesting nonetheless. So hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more time. And I want to thank those that contributed to the channel. I apologize that I did not recognize you yesterday because I didn't want to interrupt anyone. Because if I would have interrupted that, would have went somewhere else, and I didn't want that. Um, I'm the producer. I can't help it. I always have that cap on. So do forgive me. And without further ado, you all know what to do. Let's give our Jamaican Canadian her due respect, you know. So stand up, everybody. Stand up. You don't have to pledge allegiance, but at least stand up. Applause, everybody. Here she goes.
Go down there, why not go down there? Go down there, why not go down there? Go down there, why not go down there? Go down there.
Stay down there, girl. Stay down there.
Yes, girl, me down there, so yes. Oh, yes, me feeling nice. It's Saturday, yes. Trust me, me and Spice are going to be best friends one day. I can feel it in my soul, right? Like me and her, we vibrate on the exact same wavelength. She got me, I got her. We're great. As soon as the planet opens up in like 2026, right? I'm going to go visit her. It's going to be great. So,
Okay. That's when it's going to open up, probably.
probably, right? Trust me, y'all got some updates for you today that honestly reinforces about 2026. I know it gets longer every year or every week, but honestly, yeah, based on the data, it's a fair estimate. Be careful. We're about to be at 2030 in a second, right? Be happy for your 2026 right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. NT ways. Yeah, sure. Honestly, I gotta say, if I was you, I'd be feeling nice about last night, girl. That was an amazing panel. It was such a good discussion. I mean, shout out to all the people who were in the discussion. Of course, me,
Yes.
right? Because you
Yes,
can't have
yes.
the greatest discussion on earth without me. But no, for real, we had a Black in Effect and Cerulean. Dre came up, Vonda. Like we had this amazing panel of people who, we didn't necessarily agree with each other,
Hmm.
um, but we were willing to disagree respectfully. One second, I'm sorry,
Oh, no
Mr. Ruby
worries.
don't know how to act.
That's all
Okay,
right.
my apologies greatly.
No worries.
So okay, ignore the background noise, y'all. Well, we will get that figured out in the meantime. But for real, I think what was amazing is that we really got to, for once, really display how to disagree without disrespecting and to get somewhere in conversation. um, People were willing to say, no, you know what? Actually, yeah, you were right about that. Yeah, actually, no, I'll give you that point. You know what? Yeah, thank you for teaching me that information because I actually got something for that from that. Right? Like
Yeah.
it was a really amazing discussion. Shout out to everyone who was in it. I know I'm missing one person's name. I can't even remember what his name is, but shout out to everybody because honestly, I was pumped after that. I was just like, yeah, there is hope, guys. There is. Right? So yeah, no, I felt good.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have the same energy next week. DeAndre, he was on hiatus and he said that he should be able to come and share because he's actually from the city that I had up on the screen with the guys from The Wire. And there were some things I didn't get a chance to say because I know some personal stories. And I'm going to share that if I get a chance because I'm always going to let everyone else speak. But
Mhm.
it's important to just, get that information out to say, hey, you think this way, but have you considered this? And what about this? And what about that? And that's what I really want to do.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what we got to do. And I've said this to people before. When I have discussions with them, they get very frustrated, right? Because they see it as me dragging down or not listening or whatever. But that's not what it is. It's just you presented an argument to me and I see a whole bunch of holes in it. So I'm going to ask you about the holes, and I'm actually hoping you can fill the holes. So that way it makes sense and I can put it into context and say, okay, you know what? Yeah, you got a real great solid point there. Right. But then people get so like agitated because again, maybe they've been in their echo chambers too long or whatever. They're not used to having it challenged or like, well, guys, fill in the gaps here. Right. But like, we got to do that. And I like when people do that to me because it actually forces me to think harder and to maybe even strengthen my argument, because maybe I didn't realize there were holes there until someone confronted it, right? So it's such a great thing to do. So I like the questions. I'm like, people couldn't stand Charles Gilmore. I'll remember him. People couldn't
Uh-huh.
stand him because he'd come onto panels and just ask questions, right? He didn't really have anything to contribute. He would just ask questions. I loved the questions. The questions is my thing. Ask me more questions. I got this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have questions with this first story here.
Mm.
And that's because you have to think about how a lot of the content people are constantly displaying or saying that black women, all they have are children and they're single. And a lot of people can't see past that.
Mm-hmm.
So this just happened to be an interesting story that a young lady had. Like, wait a minute, hold up here. I'm not like everyone else that you know of, that you speak of. I'm a grown ass woman. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much what she said.
Right.
So I'm going to show this and then I'll read it. Let's see. So you can see her family. Black woman checks shamers who criticize her for having large family. I am married. Adult. She's a married adult, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a beautiful family. There you go.
Oh damn, yeah. That's a lot of kids she had to push out of her. And went on the way. Okay then. She brave.
Ah, push it.
Hmm.
Push it
Right?
real good.
she hella brave. I don't know.
Okay. All right, let's see here. See what I'm sharing. Someone move the article. Yeah, I think I got the right one now. I think I do. Yeah. Black women, black woman checks shamers who criticize her for having large family. I am a married adult. An expected mother of four found herself having to defend criticism of her growing family. Last Monday, Leslie Lewis took to her wildly popular Instagram page, which features pictures and videos of her family and their adventures, to address criticism about her large brood. Pregnant with baby number 5, Lewis revealed in her post that people were questioning her on how she could afford all of her children, among other comments. Lewis' posts were liked by over 50,000 times and received tons of comments. This is definitely a people of color issue. No one questions white women when they have large families. Hell, it's encouraged.
Facts.
People are
Facts.
always policing our brown bodies, one person wrote. I go through the same thing. I have 5 kids from my husband, and people still feel the need to make comments about it, another commenter said.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw this story, I said, this is only because of what people hear around social media. Now, you got to think about it. Isn't that something that black single mother, black single mother, black single mother, they has been pushed out there so much that a woman with an Instagram page showing her family, her husband was right there in the pictures and the adventures and stuff, but people just so focused on the children that they just didn't even see the man. They just paid no attention to him.
Yeah.
Like, how could you? They didn't say, how can you all?
You
How could
guys,
your
yeah.
family? Right, or even that verbiage. How you guys? I'm trying to not say guys so much. That's a Tanya TKO. She planted that seed. Shame on her. But anyway, I get what she's saying. That's her pet peeve. But Um, I get it. I really understand that as a family, that's what you all decide you want to do.
Right.
That's fine. But because of the rhetoric,
Mhm.
that is why people are asking, how could you afford all them kids? I'm like, what the
Right.
world? There are adults that work and have careers and have husbands and whatever. Hello.
Mhm.
So I want to share that with everyone.
I'm gonna add right here. The problem is, right, is that just because the Black YouTube streets has learned that there are such things like statistics and research out there, doesn't mean they know how to use it effectively. So they use the 70% out of wedlock birth rate to insinuate that that means 70% of Black women are just having children and they're single. That's not what the out of wedlock birth rate indicates, right? Because people will have a child or two before getting married, right? But they're cohabitating with their
Right.
significant other, right? And so actually the children in the Black community who are being raised without a father is actually in the, I can't remember exactly, but it's somewhere in the 30% range. So without a father or father figure in the household. So that's like half of what they're talking about, but they don't understand that, right? So they're using this rate and saying, well, come on, 70% of Black women just have babies and there's no man around and that's how they want it. That's not true. Like the numbers don't even bear out on that, but they're using statistics incorrectly, not taking the whole story and then running with this broke down rhetoric, as you said. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that I can't ask the people that say this a question directly, not just commenting in the comment section, or they won't come up to the panel, or you're not invited to the panel, just to have a one-on-one conversation. No one wants to do that. No
Mm-mm.
one. You right, Azula the dog. Ain't that dog a bad dog? He got his
Ugh,
bandana to the side. Ain't he sharp?
whatever. Of course, Azula would notice the dog with her animal farm at all times. Yeah, don't worry. We know y'all. Damn, I know. Ruby doesn't like dogs. I made a whole video on how dog licks kill. You know what?
Yeah, I seen that.
Nobody's paying attention. You could lose your limbs, bro, from a dog licking you. And everyone just ignores that. But they're so cute and cuddly. No, they're not. They're animals. They're cousins of wolves. Wolves. Okay? They're not your friends.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. I know. They're not. I no. No one will ever convince me otherwise. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Uh,
All right.
I know I'm wicked. Um, Now this isn't so much like a rhetoric thing, but it is because you hear Black women speaking a lot about Black hair,
Hmm.
and the effects that we suffer for having Black hair versus the rest of the population. And strangely, it's like people almost don't believe that we have these issues. Like they think maybe we're making a big deal out of nothing, or, oh, that stuff just used to happen back in the days, right?
Mm.
So in this particular case, you see this lovely little girl, and her father has filed a $1 million lawsuit against Michigan. Well, I guess it's a school in Michigan, after her his daughter's hair was cut by a Michigan teacher. Yeah, cut. Um,
Hmm.
so let me tell you what happened. So the father of a 7-year-old girl whose hair was cut by a teacher without her parents' permission has filed a $1 million lawsuit against the school district, a librarian, and a teacher's assistant. Okay, so
Mm.
this was filed in court on Tuesday in federal court in Grand Rapids against Mount Pleasant Public Schools. Okay, Jimmy Hoffmeyer, the girl's father, is Black and white. Her mother is white. Um, but to be clear, they don't live in a Black district. Okay. Um,
Okay.
Hoffmeyer said that in March, his daughter, Journey, spelled Jurnee. I can't stand these people. Sorry. I know it's beyond the point. My bad. Arrived home from Ganyard Elementary with much of her hair on one side of her head cut. She said a classmate had used scissors to cut her hair on a school bus. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, because I stopped right there and I'm like, you're gonna sue the school board because kids are assholes. Like my sister got her hair cut by a classmate once. Like, you can't sue the school board.
Right.
But there's more. 2 days after the bus incident, and after Hoffmeyer complained to the principal and had his daughter's hair styled at a salon with an asymmetrical cut to make the differing lengths less obvious, to be clear, asymmetrical cut with people who are experienced with black hair textures, because otherwise you're not going to get that teeny tiny little curl pattern to sit right in an asymmetrical cut. But I digress. So therefore, unfamiliar to the white people, that then continued this travesty. The daughter arrived home with her hair cut on the other side. I asked what happened and said, I thought I told you no child should ever cut your hair, Hoffmeyer said at the time. But she said, but dad, it was the teacher. The teacher cut her hair to even it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Wait, what? So, first you have some little girl on the bus cutting your hair. Then you go to a hairstylist a couple days later, right? The teacher did not feel that they had to do anything in those 2 days. Then she goes and gets it styled properly, right? So that way it's all balanced and it looks like an asymmetrical cut and it's cute and whatever. I'm sure we've seen lots of these styles now with the natural hair community, right?
Yes.
And then the teacher goes, "Oh no, that doesn't look appropriate. I'm going to cut your hair."
Mm-mm-mm.
What? So, according to the lawsuit, the district failed to properly train, monitor, direct, discipline, and supervise their employees, and knew or should have known that the employees would engage in the complaint of behavior given the improper training, customs, procedures, and policies, and the lack of discipline that existed for employees. I can't imagine, because it's not just about her hair being cut, right? It's
Right.
about teaching black bodies that your hair, your body, whatever, doesn't belong to you, right? There's nothing private or say you can't. She's 7, right? And for some kid did it, fine. But now an adult in the school said, "No, come here. I'm cutting your hair." Like, they can just cut your hair off. They can just do whatever they want to you, and then say, "No, I was just trying to be helpful. It's okay," right? And that's what the school board's saying. Yeah, no, she was just being helpful. No one was doing anything inappropriate. Really? Because I've never really heard them sitting there and a teacher cutting some little white girl's hair. I've literally never heard that, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing for you to style someone's hair, because I actually have heard of that when kids come from like school houses where parents don't have time or whatever. Then you'll have like the one where the black teacher braided the little girl's hair, which
Uh-huh.
I thought was super cute. It's one thing to braid the little girl's hair when she wants her hair braided. She wants to be pretty like all the other girls and whatever. And it's like, okay, I got time. I can do this. It's another thing for you to cut her hair off and then just leave it like that. Like, you didn't have proper styling tools. You didn't have, if you cut your hair with the improper scissors, they're not sharp enough, right? So it actually is causing split ends everywhere you're cutting with regular scissors. And this woman just took her fingers and regular scissors and butchered up your hair to even it out to make her more comfortable with your hairstyle. At 7, that's what you're trying to teach this kid is okay? Oh, hell no. I hope they win.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I never underbid yourself. 1 million is just fine.
Right? Damn right. Mm-hmm.
Well, this is, I guess you would say, an update that no one is really surprised about. There was a protest, and well, I think you guys may remember this was some time ago, and these guys they felt they need to stand their ground. They came out of their homes with their guns and said, "Hey, we're protecting ourselves. We don't want nobody coming over
Mm-hmm.
here." That's what they use. But Missouri governor pardons this St. Louis couple
Of
who
course.
pointed guns
Of
at
course.
Black Lives Matter protesters. Now, sister woman up there, that woman, that chick, I don't think she has the safety on, and she looks like she's kind of angry. So I don't trust her.
Mm-mm.
Anything out the side of her corner out her eye, and she like, what's that? Boom, and then it could hurt someone, and or she can kill someone, and she'll get off on that as well. So to sit up here outside of your home, not even on your porch, wait. Well, I would say waving, waving a gun at people that are just walking past, marching by. That is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they're pardoning. Everything's good. So let me read this. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons has pardoned the St. Louis couple who faced charges after they pointed guns at Black Lives Matter protesters last June. On Tuesday, Parson, 65 years old, issued 12 pardons and two communication. No, no, it's not that. I forgot how you pronounce this. Let me get it. I can't let it go, so let me go get the pronunciation.
I
'Cause,
believe in you.
yeah, I know what this is. In my mind, I can read something, but for my tongue to go,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing, and I can't let this go. And of course, it's not going to tell me.
Oh no.
Oh, hell with it then for right now. I'll be back with it, I'll tell you. Okay, let me go. Okay. Where was I? So this is Mark and Patricia McCloskey. The governor previously unveiled the list of those to be pardoned on Friday. Mark previously pleaded guilty back in June to misdemeanor fourth degree assault and was fined $750. While Patricia, who pleaded guilty to misdemeanor harassment, was fined $2,000. The couple, both personal injury attorneys, also agreed to surrender the handgun and semi automatic rifle that they were seen using. In a statement obtained by the Associated Press, the McCloskey lawyer, George, I'm not sorry, Joel Schwartz said Mark McCloskey has publicly stated that if he was involved in the same situation, he would have reacted the exact same conduct. He believes that the pardon vindicates that conduct. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. Nothing's changed. They call themselves protecting their land. They're not protecting anything. Going outside your home, standing that close to people that are walking past. Get up out of here, please. Stop it.
I mean, privilege is what privilege does, like,
Ain't nothing new. And it's no surprise. They're attorneys too, and they're going to continue to practice and all of that. It take them probably to do something to an actual judge before they lose their jobs.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Sad.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, have I got some Pfizer stories for you? I'm gonna do
Uh
the
oh.
first one. But first, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Okay, have y'all ever heard of Chantix or Champix? Like
Uh,
after a lot of bad things happen, they like to change up the name. So you might have heard Champix or Chantix.
I think I may have. I need to see it, but I think I have.
Okay, now for those of y'all out there, I'll let you know before I show you because I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things before I read the current article. Okay, so Chantix is the stop smoking pill. Okay, now as I've told you all very regularly, stage two sometimes or three of experimental testing is when big pharma releases a drug into the major population and let's see how it affects you. They don't know how it's going to affect you because normally what they do,
Mm.
right, they first test it to see if it will do at all what it is that it's supposed to do, period. Then they test it on healthy, normally white males that are young, just to see if it will just independently kill them, right? And then when it doesn't kill them, they release it into the major population for people who actually need the drug. This is the first time it's being tested on people who need the drug. And then they see what happens, right? They see what happens when you have other conditions. They have no idea, okay? And Chantix, to me, is like death in a pill, okay?
Mm.
Now, the first thing, I can't even believe this is still on the market. So let me show y'all why I can't believe this is still on the market. And actually, a friend of mine took Chantix. This is when I found out about all of this. I went and looked it up, and we're like, holy crap! It's been doing this to people. Like, this is not new. Um, so now you see this guy was found not criminally responsible for shooting his wife because of being on Chantix. Okay,
Mm.
right now you would think, oh, that's weird. That's probably a one-off, right? Okay, hold on. Let's see if it's a one-off.
Yes, I have heard of Chantix. I thought I had. Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
Listen, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. This is a basic Google search. It's the basic Google search. This is the first page. Okay, first page. To prove it, I didn't have to go searching far. That's page one, and all I searched was Chantix caused murder. Okay, new murder trial for soldier who claims anti-smoking drug. Right, man found not criminally
Oh.
responsible for shooting his wife. Chantix psychotic episodes blamed in 2 Vermont murders. Suit blames Chantix drug for murder suicide. Girlfriend believes
Whoa.
Chantix contributed to Texas musician's murder. Big Pharma stopped smoking pill, uses murder defense over. Bro, every single one of these stories is a different story.
With murder.
With murder, it causes people to literally lose their minds and become murderous and or suicidal.
Well, hell, I guess they will stop smoking. He locked up or dead.
Right?
What
So
the world?
yes.
Oh Lord.
Okay,
Mm, mm,
and
mm.
as y'all would see, and if you didn't, you can rewind later, right? I mean, some of these cases are as up to 2016. Okay, they refuse to pull this off of the market. Not only that, okay, but we have evidence for decades now that Chantix causes people to go psychotic and kill their family, their children, themselves, right? And not in small amounts. Like, this should not be on the market, but it is. And actually, they're saying, well, a better option than vaping would be Chantix, right? Because I mean, come on, Chantix is way healthier than smoking, and we know about it. We don't really know about vaping. Well, here's the problem. You're absolutely right. We know about Chantix. We know what Chantix does. I have never heard a vaping induced incident of psychosis where people take their vape and start beating someone to death, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you've heard of it, please pass it along. I would love to know. Okay?
Mm.
But now, maybe this will be it. I don't know. So now Pfizer is recalling Chantix. Okay?
Uh.
Okay, over fears, not because it was making people go psychotic and murder people. No, no, no. But because it could cause cancer.
You got to.
like I
Okay.
okay. And so Pfizer said on Thursday it was recalling all lots of its anti-smoking treatment Chantix, also known as Champix, due to high levels of cancer-causing agents called nitrosamines in the pills. Notice this doesn't really sound so far like it's like, oh, something got in there that shouldn't be in there, which means people who have wanted to quit smoking, specifically probably to not get lung cancer, tongue cancer, different types of cancers, right? And so they take Chantix, right? They resist murdering their whole family, and trust me, it will make you psychotic. Like, even if you don't end up killing people, like, a lot of people go off of it because of that symptom, right? Amongst other even deadly symptoms. But anyway, right? And so you're taking this so you can quit smoking and you can lower your risk of cancers again, you can live longer. But no, it's had such high amounts of nitrosamines in it that it was likely to cause cancer anyway. So you might as well have just continued smoking if you really enjoyed it, because one way or the other, Chantix or smoking, you were getting cancer. So,
Wow.
like, it's ridiculous. Pfizer asked wholesalers and distributors on Thursday to stop the use and distribution of the tablets immediately. The company said there was no immediate risk to patients taking Chantix.
Uh,
The company said there was no immediate risk to patients taking Chantix.
uh, uh.
Pfizer is such a shady company. Okay? It is such a shady company. And they want to know why people don't want to take the Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer, this is not the only drug that they've done this with, right? But this is just the one that hit the news today. Dude, no, there's no immediate. You don't have to stop taking Chantix. I mean, to be honest, if you already started it, you're already going to get cancer anyway. So it really doesn't matter. You might as well just keep taking it. We just don't want to cause more cancer, right?
Shh.
Like the lawsuit's already going to be expensive enough without new people starting today, right? Like what?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So yay Pfizer. If you're on the fence there and you're like, I'm not really sure, not really sure which one of the vaccines I should take. I don't know. I'm going to show you a little bit more information when I get into my little COVID deep dive next, but I'm going to probably be anti Pfizer. That's all I'm saying.
I think you would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now this next story, I was going to bring this up yesterday, and that was if we didn't have people really joining the show. I was going to just like I said, I had some articles and stuff to share because this is something that's I call it life. You
Mm-hmm.
know. And let me bring it up on my other screen here. Returning workforce not the same. Employees heading to offices may bring new additions with them. Well, look at the man. He's looking out his place here. This is a picture of an attorney on July 9th. He's a recovering alcoholic, and he has been experiencing, some issues prior to COVID-19 pandemic, but this just exacerbated it, you know, with him being at home.
Mm-hmm.
So let me read this here. As companies in Illinois call workers back to offices, some may face a new challenge. Employees who have become addicted to drugs or alcohol during the pandemic. The isolation and stress of the past year spurred alcohol and drug use. Some people have been able to hide those habits while working from home, but employers may soon find themselves dealing with substance abuse head on as workers again convene in conference rooms and share cubicle walls. Companies that turn a blind eye to the issue do so at their own peril, experts say. Without question, the workforce that's returning is not the same as the one that's left, says Paula Allen, global leader of research and total well-being at LifeWorks, which sells services to help companies with employees' health and well-being and has an office in Chicago. We have a lot of anxiety. We have a lot of people on edge. We are seeing more unhealthy behaviors, including more risky substance use.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was gonna, like as I said, I was gonna bring this up because it was new. Everything just stopped. You didn't know what this was, where it was going. If you have children, the children are at home. You got to figure out things for them. You got to figure out how to get money if your business is closed. Those that were eligible for unemployment, it taken so long because there were so many people. You probably didn't have that much time with your spouse or your children, and you found life to be different. you
Mm-hmm.
you did. So that was a challenge, and that is a challenge still
Mm-hmm.
even today. As far as I was going to mention, and I'll mention it Friday as yeah, I'll mention Friday as well. But I mentioned how I am a wine drinker,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided when I turned 40, I said, I'm going to try wine. That is a mature drink. I'm going to do that. Forget all this other stuff, the martinis and stuff. I don't want that because I would drink that anyway on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
which was a couple of times a year. But I wanted something. I'm like, I want to grow up. So I decided to try wine. Taking me a while to find, those that I like. And it would take me a month to drink a bottle, one entire month. Friday only or Saturday only.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I get a glass. Sometimes I finish it, sometimes I don't. But it would take an entire month for me to finish the wine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since being at home and dealing with the pandemic and all of that, I now can drink a bottle a week if I would like.
Mm-hmm.
I have done so before, but I normally choose not to, but I have found myself doing it at times. I have done that.
Mm-hmm.
More so last year than this year. And so I can just imagine those that's already was indulging in different things, how it is for them. They've
Right.
had the stress and all of that. So it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you a bad person and all those things? No, it just makes you even more human.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to share that with people. It's real. It's real out here, y'all.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have to think about, from the flip side of people who actually enjoyed being home and, you know, uh, they didn't want to go back to work. They didn't want to go back to the grind. They want to go back to never having time for their kids, or they finally were able to rebuild a relationship with their spouse and all these things. And now it's like, I'm just going to rip that back away from you. A lot of people didn't like that either, right?
Yeah.
And the stress of you're just going to lose everything that you were building. Like uh, it has been. And then I think the worst part is for a lot of people is that one way or the other, nothing is really stable. Like you still know that this virus is not under control. Nothing is really back to normal. That they
Right.
want to force the appearances of back to normal to try to make everyone feel better. And then they try to push it too far. And then they have to pull everything back. So I think it's the back and forth that's getting people more than anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's nothing certain. They even I'm probably not gonna find it fast enough. Let's see. Oh, I shocked myself. Let me show it to you.
I shocked
Um,
myself.
I did because these articles they don't have a. It doesn't tell you the title. So I'm
Mm,
like, I don't know what it is until I click on it. But I'm like, cool, okay.
mm,
So you used to get updates all the time, but the states stopped doing so. You used to
mm,
always get your weekly update. Okay, we have so many cases. This is what's going on,
mm-hmm,
but they stopped. So just to say, um, add to what you were saying, that is so true, and it's even printed here that they stopped giving you those statistics because they want you to kind of think of things. Okay, they want you to get that out your mind. They don't want you to, be
mm-hmm.
afraid. Get on out there. Go
Right.
ahead.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it is. And it's so funny because my little COVID dive today definitely addresses that.
All
Um,
right.
because I got an update over here on, first of all, now some of y'all might not know that I did this. I covered this in July when it happened. So Alberta in Canada, right, decided to drop their mask mandates, right?
Oh.
Right. And they had said, don't worry about it. I think we're mostly good. Right? Like, I don't really think there's that much to worry about anymore. We're good. Right? And so they not only did they drop the mask mandate in its entirety, okay, they fully reopened everything and they dropped
Mm.
all social distancing. No more limits to nothing. You could pack people back into bars and clubs and whatever. Don't have to wear a mask, nothing. Right? They said,
And
no, we're good.
wow, and they pay these people to think and lead, huh? Okay.
Right, right. So that was July. That was the beginning of July. Well, let's see how that panned out. So, since the
Mm-mm.
beginning of July, okay, the beginning of September came, and Alberta panicked and said, okay, we thought this was a good plan. It wasn't. Okay, we're gonna have to install mask mandates again because our rates have skyrocketed. Our ICUs are so crowded. We're now turning away people who aren't even like non-urgent surgeries if because we don't have beds for them. And so maybe we should do the mask mandates. But we promise we will not do vaccine passports like the rest of the country. Well, apparently, as of September 17th, Jason Kenney is now addressing why it is that he is now doing vaccine passports. Not only is he doing the vaccine passport, he's doing it earlier than some other provinces. He's even doing it earlier than our province. Our province is doing vaccine passports as of the 22nd. They are doing it as of the 20th. As of the
Mm.
20th. So, why? Now, why? Okay. Let me tell y'all why. Because this kills me. Okay. So, how he tried to clean up what he did before. He said, well, no, guys, I just kind of thought, like, when you try to force people into something, then they don't really want to do it. Right. So I kind of thought if we just made everyone feel like it's suggested, but you don't have to do it. It's fine. That would encourage people to get vaccinated to get back to normal. And that and it would encourage them to just social distance of their own accord. And it would just encourage them. It would just encourage them. And apparently my encouraging softly by telling you everything's back to normal, we're perfectly fine, don't worry about it. This is ridiculous. It's time to get back to normal. My encouragement, because that was just encouragement, y'all, didn't work. And now we are about a week away from our hospitals in the entire province collectively from being able to handle the crisis. Okay. Go Alberta. And as I said, yes, we will be having vaccine passports. Some of provinces like Manitoba have had vaccine passports since June.
Mm.
And so to be clear what that is, right? Like Ontario is actually planning on giving you like a photo ID card. Like if you have a
Wow.
photo, yeah, like it's like walking papers for real though, in order for you to do certain things. Now, some provinces are a little bit stricter than others, but I want y'all to listen to this little video, okay? Because this dude, I have some things that I disagree with what he said, but I want y'all just to hear a little bit because I know that America is facing vaccine passports too. So
Okay.
take a listen.
If you are one of the lucky Canadians who has gotten the COVID vaccine, you will soon be able to obtain government-issued ID stating that you are officially among the vaccinated. By midsummer, we can fully expect that if you want to go to the movies, get your hair cut, or grab a pint, businesses are going to start requiring you to flash your vaccine card. Now, I hear you. It's natural to be skeptical whenever the government rolls out some new ID requirement. Every biometric ID card just brings us one step closer to those blinky crystal hand things in Logan's Run that tell you when the state has decided it's your turn to die. But rage all you want against having to constantly carry evidence that you got a shot, because there are some very grassroots reasons why it's not going anywhere. First of all, vaccine IDs are an initiative whose loudest boosters have been small business. For you see, governments have mostly been happy to address this pandemic with perpetual economy-destroying lockdowns. It's been the restaurants, the coffee shops, and the hair salons that have been pushing back with a middle way. Let us open, but give us a way to ensure we're not becoming bogs of disease.
Now, I just want to say that he's misrepresenting the small businesses
Yeah.
slightly, right? They didn't say that they wanted vaccine passports. They wanted a middle ground, though, or at least a damn bailout like you're giving to the multi-billion-dollar corporations who can afford to bail the damn selves out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he's misrepresenting the information. You can tell, and this is where I'm like, you can't really trust either side. I understand. You can't trust the right. You can't trust the left. Everyone's talking shit right now, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is different than most other identification. You think bars like being forced to scrutinize IDs and risk their license if they slip up just one time and serve a minor? Not to disparage Canada's upstanding firearms retailers, but I'm sure they wouldn't object to just a tad less paperwork when they're selling someone another's Western single action to gather dust in their gun safe.
And we have way less mass shootings by mentally unstable people. So I don't care that you don't like the paperwork. Enjoy it. Okay.
Right.
Second of all, we should be incentivizing people to get vaccinated. Here's how you don't stage a mass vaccination campaign. You urge everyone to get the shot, but you still say everyone should mask up and social distance for the foreseeable future. Wrong! You tell
I'm going to tell you guys in a second why that's stupid. Okay.
people that if they get the shot, they can get back to normal, and here's a special card to allow you to do that. Also, screening Canadians for health reasons isn't as unprecedented as you might think. Do you work in healthcare or at an old folks' home? Chances are you'll need the flu shot if you want to keep your job. Want to be a pilot? No dice if you have epilepsy or get serious asthma attacks. Do you work with monkeys, spend a lot of time in Mexico, or you're a man who has sex with men sometimes? Sorry, you can't give blood. All of those groups have been tagged as being disproportionately likely to carry bloodborne diseases. Also, Canada routinely turns away immigrants on the grounds of medical inadmissibility, meaning essentially that they're sick and we don't want them. If you have syphilis, you're criminally insane, or even if you've just got a pre-existing condition that's going to cost our healthcare system too much, you can't get one of these. Canada is not in the habit of creating underclasses of people based on their health status. There are loads of discrimination lawsuits predicated on someone's physical or mental health. But Canada is in the habit of screening your health status when the material safety of others is on the line. And that's absolutely the case with COVID-19. But here's the bad news about vaccine IDs. People are absolutely going to screw this up and go too far. Remember the no-fly list, that perfectly reasonable strategy to keep would-be terrorists off airliners? Within 5 minutes, everybody with the last name Muhammad couldn't so much as catch a Porter Airlines puddle jumper. Just because vaccine IDs are rational late-pandemic policy doesn't mean they're not going to be at the center of some tyrannous nonsense in the coming months. My prediction: number one, some overzealous city council is going to start requiring vaccine cards for some perfectly safe activity like walking through a park. Number two, people who can't get the vaccine for legitimate medical reasons are going to be absolutely screwed over by red tape. Number three, some crypto-fascist neighborhood association, probably in Toronto, is going to go on the warpath about requiring mandatory vaccines just for living in the area. So get ready for all that. But as usual...
Now, here's the thing, okay? And he pointed it out. People who can't get the vaccine for legitimate reasons, including children under the age of 12, including people with other types of medical issues, right? This is the problem. They are pretending like if you get the vaccine, it's like other vaccines, and it's not.
Right.
Okay. It does not protect you from catching COVID. It does not protect you from being contagious when you do catch COVID. It does not prevent you from transmitting COVID. Okay. And no matter how much they want to pretend that this is not affecting, the only people it's affecting are unvaccinated people, right? And people who are over the age of 80. Okay. Well, since that's apparently true, right? Well, let's just take a look really quickly at this story right here. And actually there are two of them that were publicized pretty heavily, right? Where a child under the age of 10 has died of COVID-19 in Waterloo region in Ontario. That's in my province. Okay. And to be clear, this woman literally, all she did was, my heart goes out to you and your family at this time. Man, that's dude, worthless. That was not even commentary. It's the same thing with this woman. This woman, we're just so sad. Like, no, what you're not addressing, you're saying, well, this was rare, and they had other medical conditions too, and that's why. What were the medical conditions? Why aren't you mentioning them?
Right.
If that's what it was, right? There's just confounding medical conditions. Why don't you mention the medical conditions? Okay, well, let's take a look at the one where we got way more information. We actually got the name and information of the little girl who died just a couple months ago. Okay, so just to prove again, right? Because I want y'all to understand that you having the vaccine makes you far more likely to live if you catch COVID, but you'll still catch it, you'll still transmit it. What is the problem then? Because if you're not wearing masks, you are doing nothing to stop you, who will feel fine all the time, even if you are just riddled with COVID, right? From walking around and just breathing in the atmosphere and infecting people who are unvaccinated and can't get vaccinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this girl, this is in April, okay? Now she died of COVID-19, and we have the information on her. Do you know what they're saying is her confounding medical is
What?
that she was overweight.
Oh, get out of here.
That was it. It's that she was overweight. It's not she had horrible asthma or whatever. It's that she was overweight.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, if that's the case, we have an obesity epidemic in North America, right? It's worse in America
Right.
than it is in Canada. But we still have an obesity epidemic in North America, which means 30% minimum of children are then 1,000% at risk. So again, you taking away the mask mandates and telling everyone just go back to normal once you get your vaccine doesn't actually protect the population. It doesn't protect anyone. It doesn't protect all of the people that you are saying, well, these are our people that we need to protect because we need to care about them because they're more they're more susceptible to catching
Uh-huh.
everything, right? And I want to show y'all one more thing because it's something Shar brought up as well. And I was so happy when he brought it up because I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about that too. I'm going to talk about that. So, y'all, I want y'all to see something, okay? Now, if you ever went to this website, okay, it's health-infobase.canada.ca, okay? If you want to go see the results with pretty charts and stuff that tell you about the COVID vaccination rates and how many people have gotten COVID and not the COVID vaccine and, by breakdown in demographic and age, dude, it is so accessible. But look,
Mm.
this is supposed to show you, okay? So these are adverse events following immunization reports by age and sex. So if I say right now there should be a figure, right? Because this is figure 3, right? There should be a figure right here. There is no figure. It doesn't matter what I change. It will not show me a figure. They are
Mm.
really trying to make this whole entire site of the adverse effects. They're trying to make the information incredibly inaccessible, right? So that way you think, oh, well, there's no, well, I mean, if they had adverse effects, they would report them, right? It would be right there, right? And human beings, honestly, we're lazy and we're visual. So when we don't see any numbers underneath this, then we think, oh, well, there must not be anything wrong. Not true at all. In fact, and here's the thing, detailed information on safety signals, other safety updates, and deaths. Okay. So these are all of the common or the most common side effects of taking any of the vaccines, especially AstraZeneca. It seems to be the worst, with Pfizer being the second worst. But that being said, I feel like they kind of have to live on Moderna. They have to because of how problematic the other ones are. So I feel like they might actually underreport that. But that's just the feeling, right? But thrombosis with thrombocytopenia, Guillain-Barré syndrome, y'all know that one, right? Where you just like lose the ability to like walk or move. Um,
Okay.
Myocarditis / pericarditis, so that's swelling, right? Or fluid pooling around your heart. Capillary leak
Mm.
syndrome, where like, you have your capillaries in your veins and all, right? Your capillaries are supposed to not leak blood everywhere, you would think, right? And death.
Mm.
And death. Okay? So I want y'all to recognize that what they are doing is they're selling us a false sense of security and a false
Right.
sense of the problem solved, but it doesn't work when they do this. Look, Alberta just did it. They said everything's fine. Look, our vaccine in big populations is like 80% rate, and in rural it's only 20, but we're fine. Our rates are good. We'll just reopen, and boom. Same thing happened in Florida and all over America. We need to stop doing this. We need to stop accepting these half measures that are band-aids that are gonna be ripped off. and then we're right back where we started from. And that's what's making people depressed, is this is stringing on for years and years with no real end in sight and no security that, this new solution is a solution, because it's not really a solution. This is crazy.
Right. Who do you trust? How can
Mm-hmm.
you trust?
Right.
You keep flip flopping. I mean, it's just a whole lot of flip flopping.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing that's
So
going on.
so much flip-flopping, and it's ridiculous. And just sorry, one more thing, I totally forgot about this, because I told you I was going to tell you about it, so I'll tell you about it really fast. I don't really want to go into the details. I'm just going to show it to you. So I showed y'all the fact that Pfizer, is getting called out for Chantix right now. We all know J&J has been called out for their filthy facilities and whatnot, right? So do you think right now, I'm not saying science isn't science, but do you think there's a slight issue where now, after all of this has happened, they're coming out with this article saying, oh, the Moderna vaccine is way more effective than Pfizer and J&J, especially after 4 months, right? Wait, all of a
What?
sudden, just,
Right.
just all of a sudden, it's just suddenly way more effective, just all of a sudden, really? Um, okay. And then they're coming out with this. Why? I'll tell you why they're coming out with this. And they allude to it in the article. It's because we know that the two shots don't even protect you from getting really bad symptoms of the Delta variant and God knows what other variants. And so they've been talking about this third booster shot for a long time. But if you need the third booster shot to be protected of all variants, then in essence, you're still telling people, well, no, actually, no one basically is going to qualify for these vaccine cards then, right? So what they want to do is they kind of want to shut everyone up about talking about the booster shot that you actually need, and instead get you to think everything's fine, and then in about 60 days or so be like, okay, everyone, come in for your third shot, no big deal, it's just a booster, it has nothing to do with the Delta rate soaring, no, come on in. It's so manipulative, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If y'all think they're not playing, like, again, America, it's not just y'all, right? So this is not like some grand scheme for America to benefit America, but they're playing with us. Let's not get
Yeah.
it twisted.
Yeah. And I don't like the games. I don't play games. I dropped out of school because of that darn recess. I'm like, teacher, how you gonna tell me to take recess? I don't play. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I did. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
Right, right. I'm just saying, that's not my kind of game.
That's
That's what
right.
it is. It's not my kind of game.
Well, we all want some cash.
Mm-hmm.
It can be in the form of a pension, or it could just be just dollar bills. I don't care. Just give me the cash. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to say that it's possible. They asking the question: can cash give you COVID? Well, I think if you protect yourself, it won't. How about that?
Mm. Hmm.
Researchers in Germany wanted to know how long coronavirus remained infectious on cash and coins. So, to find out, experts at the European Central Bank and the Ruhr, I don't know how to pronounce this is German. Well, somebody, whoever these folks are at this university, they treated various euro coins and banknotes with viral solutions and different concentrations. They found that while the virus remained detectable on a stainless steel surface for 7 days, it took only 3 days to completely disappear from the €10 banknote. No infectious virus was detectable on the 10 cent, the €1, and the 5-cent coin after 6 days, 2 days, and 1 hour, respectively.
Hmm.
The rapid decline on the 5-cent piece is because it's made of copper, on which viruses are known to be less stable. Yeah.
Mm.
So, regardless, I know it may take a little bit longer on the cash, but give me the cash. I can always trade it in, and I'll be all right. I'm just saying. You know.
Hey. That's true. I mean, honestly, if y'all aren't good with your money, you can always give it away to a good cause, right? The Sharp Pension Fund is always looking for donations. So
Yes, it's open 24/7.
yeah, I'm just saying. I listen. I co-sign the message. I absolutely do.
Call me now.
Hmm.
All right, so this is my last article, and since it's about cash, I said let me get this out the way. Okay, let me clear this up here, move out my way. And I got one more. Move that. And here we are. Spend, borrow, repeat will be the death of us. Well, we kind of know that. It is what it is. No one was expecting this. What can we do? And we're all trying to survive. That's what I got to say. All right, let me read this for ya. It says, when the COVID 19 pandemic eventually recedes, its global costs will become clearer. Paradoxically, the accounting begins with hardships that cannot be calculated, the suffering of so many families, communities, and nations. Those human losses are paramount, yet they aren't the pandemic only lethal legacies. National government worldwide, ours in the forefront, have fought the pandemic and its side effects with borrowed money. Much of this new debt will fall not only on today's children and grandchildren, but also on our descendants not yet born. So you hear that, sperm? We're coming for you. Get them tax dollars. Just saying. So since we're so concerned, if not surprised, by the Wall Street Journal news story headline, "Government Worldwide Gorge on Record Debt, Testing New Limits," the journal reports. The pandemic has pushed global government debt to the highest level since World War II, surpassing the world's annual economic output. The government is on course for a fiscal deficit of $3 trillion for the second year in a row. We mentioned this in our government IRS, or Internal Revenue Service, delivers the first and several child tax credit payments to single parents earning up to $95,000 and to couples earning up to $170,000. Meanwhile, Senate Democrats say they intend to pass a sweeping social, educational, and environmental package they price at $3.5 trillion. That's not to be confused with the previous COVID 19 relief spending, or a separate and not yet approved outlay on infrastructure. A millions. Because a trillion of anything is a millions, the more formidable, yeah, I'm trying, formidable term deficit of $3 trillion befuddles many Americans, journalists included. The temptation is to toss one's frigid hands in the air and mutter that these debts belong not only to us individual Americans, but to a faceless federal government. Now, I really don't. I understand when it comes down to borrowing and all of that. I get it. But when it comes down to your people that are here, you have to take care of them. I've never really seen that people that concerned about the future unless it has something to do with them. So the way I look at it, government, you take care of yourself. You never really think of us as the taxpayer. You have to concentrate on these taxpayers now because we are the living. You got to keep us alive, feed us, help us, And as we work, we can give some of these tax dollars back until we
Mm-hmm.
stop working. But if you don't do that and keep with this rhetoric of, oh, people are staying at home, they're lazy, oh, with all of that foolishness, you need to stop it. So just, it's just something to consider because people are getting increases in the government. They taking off, work 1 week, take 3 weeks off, and they continue this cycle year after year, and then tell you vote for me. I'm going to work for you. Yeah, really? Oh, that's what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just saying.
This is why financial literacy is so important, is so key in this day and age. And for the record, guys, anyone who's trying to sell you financial freedom online is lying to you. They're just trying to get your money so they can have financial freedom. So that's not who should teach you financial literacy, just FYI. Like there's lots of people giving away free information, free education, breaking information down for you and stuff like that. And it's time for us to like learn something, because otherwise we get caught up in the trap they've set for us to live. We think that's just normal, and there's another way. So learn the other way.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well, is about that time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting kind of happy. Rub my hands together and
Mm-hmm.
for that Ken and Karen segment. So Karen, what you got to say, girl?
Feet away coronavirus. You are Karen.
Karen ain't got nothing to say.
She sure didn't. She tried though. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
work.
She always trying to say something, but come on, it's never worth nothing. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
Right.
Now, okay, listen, y'all. Before we just get into all the funny Karen stuffs, okay, of which I would like to be clear, I do very much want to address today. We have Betty. I want to talk about this one story. Now, here's the problem, okay?
Mhm.
Karen, right? Y'all real Karens, y'all ruin it for everyone else. Okay. And it kind of addresses what the dude in the video said, where he's like, I think people are going to take things too far. I think I mean, that always happens, right? The
Yeah.
bad ones ruin it for everybody else. So I want to just quickly share this story. And the reason why I want to do it is this, okay? Everybody's called to Karen. I was called to Karen like in a chat, in a comment section, for
Mm.
just saying, yeah, I think this Karen is psycho for trying to run your dog into the street. But that being said, you really should have a leash on your dog in public, not just to keep it safe, right? But to be respectful of, everyone else. Not everyone is comfortable with dogs.
Right.
And then I had like 20 people jump on, yeah, whatever, Karen. I was like, what? Wait, I'm being a Karen for saying you should follow the law and put a leash on your dog in a public park?
They're confused.
But,
Yeah, they're confused. Karen don't follow rules. No, no.
right. So, like, dude. So I wanted to address this story because I just thought it was a little bit sad, and I understand. Like, people are going, like I said, they're going too far because they're not used to reasonable people. They're not. And so this woman, okay, well, actually, it wasn't really just her. It was her and her toddlers, her family, were escorted off an American Airlines flight this week after their asthmatic toddler struggled to keep a mask on. Okay. Now, we know that Kens and Karens have been getting kicked off of planes for refusing to keep their mask on, for not wearing it properly, for refusing to put a mask on at all. We do
Mhm.
know that, right? But in this case, first of all, on planes, children under the age of two don't even have to wear masks because they understand that babies are fidgety and fussy and don't care. Um,
Yeah.
this is a 2-year-old baby who has asthma. I mean, you can even see the inhalery thing there, right? I know what those things are called, just no one else
Uh huh.
does. Who cares? And then I'll show y'all the video here. She just chill, like she has a mask on. The baby has a mask on. Take a look at this.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Like the baby can't breathe.
Right.
So she doesn't want a mask on right now. And she's trying to keep the mask on her, but what's she supposed to do? She look. So y'all see this, right? Like we have to stop treating everybody like they're a Karen. First of all, she had a perfectly reasonable reason for not even having the mask on the kid's face at all, because the kid's 2. So I understand,
Yeah.
21 months is so different than 25 months. Not really. But in this case, she's trying to put the mask on the kid's face. This kid's just not having it because she can't breathe right now.
Right, you can even hear it.
Right, you can hear it. And then it's asthma. So they use the asthma pump and everything. And then you've got to allow the medicine to work. I know I had really bad lungs as a kid. And so it actually would take a while for the medication to work. And in the meantime, you're panicking. And the more you're panicking and the more upset you are, the worse your breathing is, because it's constricting your bronchial tubes. So in essence, if they had just been human beings for 5 seconds, they would have had the little girl calm down, go to sleep. The mask would have been back on her face. Everything was fine because this woman was keeping a mask on her face. It's not like she didn't want the mask on. It's just when someone's having a breathing attack like that, anything on your face feels like someone's trying to suffocate you to death. So, dude, and people are actually addressing her and her family like they are Karens and whatever. And I'm like,
no, people ain't. Common sense is not that common. Not that common, I tell you.
right, at all. And so I want to address that one. Okay, listen, we aren't this channel that just sits there and blindly calls everyone a Karen for a good laugh, right? We like a good laugh, but we don't call everyone a Karen for a good laugh. We call you out when you're really being a Ken or a Karen, okay?
That's right.
And so, to clarify, here's a real Karen.
All right.
Okay. Now, this is an anti-vaxxer, okay? Notice the differences. You will. Absolutely. There will be no effort to comply. Watch.
So you're refusing to serve us? Are you refusing to serve us? So you're going to enforce segregation because we just told you that we're religiously exempt. You told us you had your vaccination. I never told you any of that. I would never tell you that. I would never say that. I would never say that. You don't have to leave. If you have to fly, you have to fly that you're supposed to put into your window, right? Okay, go and read it. Go and read it. Go and read it, and you tell me we're not leaving. Well, I'm not leaving. You guys can leave. I'm not leaving.
Okay.
We just marched for this. Everybody in here is okay with that? Everybody's in here okay with setting segregation in society? Everybody's okay with that?
Hold on. Can I just point out?
March for now. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Finish that. I was just about to address the same thing. Right? Like, how are you gonna sit there? See, this is white privilege, right? Black folk know we can march and it ain't gonna change anything, and we know we might have to march 1,000,000 times to get a modicum of change. But his white privilege tells him, I marched for like 3 hours. Right? That should be sufficient. I should get what I want. What happens? What?
Mm.
Well, as long as
Can't.
you march, then they didn't change the laws or anything. But as long as you march, now you're religiously exempt, and that should mean something to private businesses. They're not allowed to run their businesses as they see fit. No, because you march. Yeah, but we're being segregated.
That has nothing to do with the mass, sir.
Right, based on our religious beliefs. Bro, no. That's not the same thing as banning hijabs in a restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, you just,
Right.
like, it's like,
What
he's
the
trying so hard.
world?
He feels so oppressed. This is the most oppressed he's ever been in his whole life. Like,
Okay.
oh God, okay, let's keep watching.
Oh, we don't have our vaccine card, so now the kids can't eat. We can't eat. You guys are okay with that? This is the America you want to live in? Is this the America you want to live in? No, fuck you. You see? You're not American. That's why you need to get the fuck out of here if you're not American. All right?
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here. Okay? This is America, and in America, everybody can eat. Everybody can eat in America. All right? This is not segregation.
They're telling us that we can't eat here, but yet they didn't ask.
This is America. You need to wake up. This is the kind of country you want to live in? You want to live in this type of country? Wow. Everybody's okay with this?
And they didn't ask other people for their vaccination card. Good for you, but some people over here were not.
No, that's not the point. That's not the point. That's not the point. I told you that we're religiously exempt. If you read the poster that you posted on your thing from the city, it says you cannot discriminate, okay? Read the poster. It says it on there.
I don't think they read the poster.
Okay.
Right. I mean, read the poster. No. I like that his wife was trying to make it a race issue, but he didn't want it to be. Like, no, it's not even about that. It's not about race. No, it's about my right to be conservative and not wear a mask, right? Like, that was like, he was almost insulted that she had the nerve to bring up race. Like, how dare you? How dare you try to make it about a black thing, okay? Black people are not oppressed because of race. I'm being oppressed because of my religious and conservative views, okay? Like,
And I'm just wondering, why would you want to force yourself to allow these people to allow you to be in a restaurant that they clearly don't want you there because of your conduct? That's one, you wants to force your issue or beliefs on the restaurant, and you're going to sit there and just take a chance and eat the food that is brought to you. I mean,
yeah.
but you're so concerned about the kids, then you're marching. What about the common sense and decency of allowing people to have their choice, and you choose to stay away from the people that have their choice that you got to have a mask? How about that?
Right.
I don't get it. I just don't.
I don't get it either, honestly. Listen, I don't want to get a vaccination. I'm very comfortable wearing masks. I don't go places where people are unmasked and not vaccinated. Right? And likewise, if someone didn't want me to go into their establishment because I wasn't vaccinated, I would respect that. All right, cool. Fine. The end. I don't give people money who don't like black people, just for the record, right? Like, if you don't like me because I'm a woman, because I'm black, because I'm anything, I don't want to give you my money. I really don't. Like,
I'm not going to force you to take it. Please take my money. I marched.
Right? I wish I would beg someone to want to serve me. Huh. I'm the one who will go to the store like across the hall from yours where you can see me clearly and then drop like $1,000 that I really don't have to waste, but it doesn't matter. I just want to prove to you that you lost a lot of money by not working with me. You know what I mean? But I'm not giving it to you. That's for damn sure. All right.
Wow.
Right? So now, speaking of blackness and racism,
Oh.
of course, Yes, of course, of course, of course.
Uh-oh.
Right. So let us. Okay, we're just gonna see. I don't want to give too much away.
You just play that beautiful bean
I would
footage.
play this beautiful bean footage. This is a nurse, by the way. Okay, and she is working with a patient. All right, let's. That's all I'm gonna give you. Okay, let's go.
Right.
I don't have a master. I'm not.
If y'all missed that, she asked, "Do you have a master?"
Mm-hmm.
Like a master, not a
Mm-hmm.
master's degree, like a master of your body, like Master Johnson, like slavery times, master. That's what this woman, who's her patient, just asked her. Okay, do you have a master? All right.
Who
Okay.
owned you?
Yeah. Right. Do you have an owner? Okay. Yeah. Let's see how this unfolds.
My own master. Oh, okay, darling. Yeah, I'm free. God, thank you. Yeah. Let's see you read. Let's see me read. I know how to read.
Did you see that? Steve, right? So,
Wow. There's a lot of freedom. You ain't got no master and you were able to learn how to read? Wow. It really
right?
came up.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, no, honestly though, this woman is not even playing.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
really serious.
Yeah, she's back in the 20s somewhere. Hmm.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? With people who get Alzheimer's and stuff, is that they go back in their heads, right? Like my grandmother started saying, right? So, because my grandmother is like, she's a colorist, right? Because everyone in Jamaica was a colorist, especially back in the days. So she started saying some real ignorant shit to me, right? Like,
Hmm.
because when I was younger, I was lighter skinned, right? Now, some people, obviously, like black people, would consider me light skinned, but the thing is that to my grandmother, who is basically a white Jamaican, right?
Hmm.
And to her, in comparison to the whole family who are biracial, I'm actually very dark,
Okay.
right? So my grandmother would say things about when my skin used to be so pretty when I was younger, or talking about how I used to be so pretty when I used to perm my hair and stuff like that, and just talk about how pretty I used to be and how my hair looks like snakes, and how I'm making myself look like a ragamuffin and riffraff because I had the faux dreads and stuff. And I'd be like, oh my god, you're not allowed to say things like this, grandma. Don't talk to black people outside, please. Like, I love you. I understand that right now you're living like in 1932. I get it, right?
Mm,
But other people aren't gonna get it. Stop talking to people. Um,
dang.
so let's see part 2 of the TikTok. I haven't even seen part 2 of the TikTok. I'm not sure what it says. But we're gonna watch it together because we review Karen's together because sharing is caring.
Yes.
All right, let's make sure you're sharing it. Okay, I'm gonna press refresh so that we make sure that we get it from the start. All right. Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Good. I love them. You love them. I love them. Hallelujah. How did you know? You're because you're smart. I know it, darling. I know it. God, people are peculiar people. They're so sweet. They're so sexy. The black people are
damn.
so sweet and sexy. Uh-huh. There you go. I'm weak. You gonna get you a black man. I might do it. You do it. You like something you like black people? Uh-huh.
Yo,
Good.
yo, I can't. I
Good.
can't. No, I'm done. Yeah, they're peculiar. Dark people are peculiar people. They're so sweet, but they're so sexy.
You gonna get your black yeah.
Yeah, right? She's 16 years old talking to her handmaiden, okay? She wouldn't try to hurt no one's feelings. She was just telling it like it is.
Wow.
Yeah. Next
Mm-mm.
level. You know what? I love this TikToker, okay? She's my favorite person. Because you know what? She's not taking it to heart. Like
Yeah.
Listen, she understands. This woman is not living in today's age, okay? She did not go through 90 years of her life. Right now, she's about 17 years old. She's not trying to be rude to you. It's just now you live in 1920. So
Yeah.
she's talking to you like it's normal in 1920. And in 1920, that's a very nice way to treat the black gals, right?
Yeah.
So
It sure is.
oh my god, I love that. Oh, I'm so glad we watched part 2. I'm gonna get a kick out of that one for a while. Oh, that's good. All right, y'all. So I don't know. Funny enough, this is not technically about this woman. I'm gonna just give you a little preamble. Have you guys ever wondered, right? I mean, we normally see Ken. The few times we really see Ken, a lot of times we see him with his wife of some sort, right? But you guys ever wonder, does Ken become Ken before or after getting married?
Ah, good question.
Right? Now, this is a Ken. So I guess that can kind of lead you to the answer. This is a Ken in the dating world. Okay, I will let this woman explain. She does a decent job herself. And yeah, let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
I did my hair. I looked good. And then I
Uh-oh.
sat in a restaurant.
We gotta rewind.
I had a first date planned for Friday. I took a nap so that I would be all rested and fresh. I showered. I did my hair. I looked good. And then I sat in a restaurant for a half hour waiting for him, and he never showed up. He then called me 2 hours later to let me know that his dad was in the hospital. And then he called me after that to tell me that his dad wasn't actually in the hospital and that he lied. He then proceeded to leave me about 5 or 6 additional voicemails. I would like to present them to you now.
And it's Brad again. So it's been an hour, and I haven't really heard from you, which I don't think is very cool. I talked to my friends, and they said I should have heard something from you by now. I know you're busy with work and everything like that, but, I just basically spilled my guts to you and, was super honest with you, and I just don't think it is fair that you're not.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to restart it because I didn't even realize. I didn't realize the volume was down. And so apparently the chat couldn't hear it very well. So they won't hear it well on replay either.
Okay.
And again,
Thank you.
her explanation is better than mine. So, yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay.
What are you doing? Okay. Do you see what it's doing?
Yeah, I see it. It's
Why is it
weird.
doing that? Stop. Okay, hold on. I'm going to sneak attack it. Okay, no. Okay, wait a second. What the hell's happening?
I had a first date planned for Friday. I took a nap so that I would be all rested and fresh. I showered. I did my hair. I looked good. And then I sat in a restaurant for a half hour waiting for him, and he never showed up. He then called me 2 hours later to let me know that his dad was in the hospital. And then he called me after that to tell me that his dad wasn't actually in the hospital and that he lied. He then proceeded to leave me about 5 or 6 additional voicemails. I would like to present them to you now.
Okay, so just refreshing your memories before we continue. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He stood her up at a restaurant, stood her up altogether, called her 2 hours later, said, my dad's in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Then called her back and said, I lied. My dad was never in the hospital.
Right.
Okay? Now listen to what he says in this message. I think this is amazing. Okay.
Brad again. So it's been an hour, and I haven't really heard from you, which I don't think is very cool. I talked to my friends, and they said I should have heard something from you by now. I know you're busy with work and everything like that, but, I just basically spilled my guts to you and, was super honest with you, and I just don't think it is fair that you're not calling me back. It's just not cool,
Not cool.
I'm starting to rethink things, and
What?
I don't know. If I don't hear from you in the next 30 minutes, I'm sorry. I just don't think it's gonna work out.
Oh.
Now, what I think is amazing, right? From this point alone, you're just like, what? It, but that wasn't it, guys.
Oh no.
That wasn't it. Now, and the funny thing is, right? I decided we're gonna do a series. Okay, we're gonna do a series. So going forward, okay, I'm gonna find one of these per week for y'all to listen to. And I'm going to tell you why you want to tune in to hear how this saga unfolds. Because the mama even gets involved, leaving messages on her voice machine. His mama
Oh,
gets
I'm not
involved.
surprised.
Right.
I'm not surprised. Now, well, I'm just going to say this. Since you're going to make us wait weeks and weeks and weeks, I'm just going to have to say that this guy here, as soon as he said he talked to his friends, I knew that was over. That
Right?
was it. The fact it's over. Well, Don Teasy, you already know. Tell everybody it's over. You
Mhm.
know you know me. The fact you didn't show up, that
Right.
I don't really. That woman is way over his league anyway,
Mhm.
so it wasn't gonna work out. And I
Mm-mm.
think that's what it is.
Right.
Once he was too nervous to go through with it,
Mhm.
and then he came up with some cockamamie story,
Mhm.
and then he got regretful. I think that's what's going on. But poor thing. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Well,
okay.
I think his only friends is his mama because at the end of the day, right? You
He
you
got
turn
one
it.
friend. He got one friend that don't have sex either.
Yeah, right. Another insult because no dude is gonna give you that advice, right? My mama said I should have heard something by now. And in an hour, 1 hour from the time that you like, think about what he did. First, you stood her up. Then you left a message. My dad's in the hospital. Then you left another message saying I lied to you. I should have heard something by now. What?
Girl, how many weeks you gonna have me to get to the end of this rainbow? I gotta know. I need to know this.
Okay,
It's gonna be
listen.
November. What?
No, it won't be November. It won't be November. No. There's only a few. Okay, listen. At least I will give you a good taste next week. How we put that way? Give you a good taste next week of the phone call saga. So,
Okay, all right. Just want to know if it's going into November.
I know. I hope it does, though. I hope he just keeps calling. You know what I mean? Really?
Hey, that'll give us some content.
That's what I'm saying, right? Thank you, Ken. Thank you for being an insult. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being in sales.
Yes, love it. We gotta make that a theme song for the show.
I want to thank everybody. Had a great time. You guys, please have a safe weekend. Social distance, all that good stuff. If you're back in office, especially, just make sure you try to clean everything up because your kids gonna be around other kids, and I'm hearing a lot of numbers have gone up. So be careful there. And yeah, so have fun, stay safe. Come back next week. We got some content for you. And until then, peace.
Cheers, y'all.